right, this is the Georgia Milestones Review. We're going to start with Unit 1 and work our way through the 6 units for 7th grade math. So number 1, we're in Unit 1. Unit 1 is all about integers, rational numbers, adding and subtracting, multiplying, dividing, number lines, that sort of thing. So John and Kamira are playing a game. John scored J and Kamira scored K after round 1 are shown on the number line. The score recorded at the end of the first round is 2. What could this score represent? So we're going to work through the answers and see which one is correct. A says the sum of John's score and Kamira's score. So John's score is -5 and Kamira's score is 7. Sum means to add. When you're adding integers, if the signs are not the same, then you subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. Keep the sign of the bigger number. So that's positive 2. So the answer is A, but I'm going to work through the other answers just so we can see why we can eliminate those questions. B says the difference means subtract, between John's score, -5, and Kamira's score, 7. When you're subtracting, we use additive inverse. Keep the first number, change subtraction to addition, take the opposite of the second number. Now my signs are the same, so I add. 7 plus 5 is 12, and the sign is negative, so it's not B. The absolute value of the difference. Absolute value is always positive. The absolute value of -12 is positive 12, not C. And the sum of the absolute values of John's score and the absolute value of Kamira's score. So the absolute value of -5 is 5, plus the absolute value of 7 is 7. 5 plus 7 is 12. It is not 12. So again, the answer is A. Number 2, what is the value of 4.2 times 46 minus 65? I can use distributed property and distribute the 4.2 to the 46 and 65 and then subtract, or I can go ahead and solve what's on the inside of the parentheses. 46 minus 65. When you're subtracting, remember we use additive inverse. Keep our first number, change subtraction to addition, take the opposite of the second number. My signs are different, so now I subtract. 65 minus 46 is 19. The bigger number is negative, so that's -19. And I'm multiplying that by 4.2. A positive times a negative is a negative, so I know that the answer is not C or D. When I multiply 4 and 2/10 times -19, I get -79 and 8/10. Number 3, what is the product? So the first thing I'm going to do is solve what's on the inside of my parentheses. 7 minus 3.2 is 3.8. -8 times positive 3.8. A negative times a positive is a negative, so I can eliminate C and D. -8 times 3.8 is a negative 30.4. It is B. During 1 week, Sheila made several changes to her bank account. She made 4 withdrawals of $40 each from an ATM. She also used her check card for a $156 purchase. Then she deposited her paycheck of $375. So each withdrawal or purchasing something is going to be negative, and then depositing is putting money back into your account, so that's positive. So for 4 different occasions, she took out $40. Then she spent $156. Then she deposited $375. So for the 4 times that she withdrew from the ATM, 4 times -40 is -160. That's $160 that she withdrew. Bring everything else down. -160 minus 156. She spent $160 plus she spent, additive inverse, $156. The signs are the same, so I add them and keep the sign. 160 plus 156 is 316. So in all, she spent $316. Then she deposits her paycheck of $375. So my signs are different. I'm going to subtract. 375 minus 316 is 59. The bigger number is positive, so that is an increase, a $59 increase to her bank account. All right, so the first 4 questions wrapped up Unit 1. Basically, everything that's on Unit 1 for the most part. So now for 5 through 9, we're going to review Unit 2. Unit 2 is expressions, equations, and inequalities. So question 5 says, consider the expression 6r minus r plus 8 times 15 minus r plus 23 minus 6. Part A. Is negative 3r plus 137 equivalent to the given expression? So I need to simplify this big expression to see if they are the same. 6r plus negative r, or 6r minus r, that's 5r. 8 times 15 is 120. 8 times negative r is negative 8r. And 23 minus 6 is 17. I can still combine like terms. My r terms are 5r and negative 8r. The signs are different, so when I combine them, I'm going to wind up subtracting. 8 minus 5 is 3. 8 is negative, so that's negative 3r. Positive 120 plus positive 17 is positive 137. So, yes, these two expressions are equivalent. So that's all you need to do for Part A is just write that, yes, they are equivalent. Part B, explain how you determine whether the expressions are or are not equivalent. Well, we're just going to write exactly what we did. First, we distributed. Then we combined like terms. So, I simplified the expression by using the distributive property. And combining like terms. The simplified expression was equivalent to the given expression. So when I'm reading this, or whenever I'm writing this, looking back at these words, I've got the word simplified, I have expression, I have distributive property, combining like terms, equivalence. All of these are words that we use as the foundation of Unit 2. These are the vocabulary words that helped us learn about Unit 2. So when you are answering these questions on Georgia Milestone, it is very beneficial for you to use those vocabulary words. That's what pushes you from getting 1 point to getting the full 2 points. Or if it's a 4-point question, getting 3 points to getting the full 4 points. The more vocabulary that you use, the more mathematically sound explanations that you can give, the better your score will be. That does not mean give fluff. You don't just say, while I was solving this expression, I was looking at all of the terms that look the same, and when I did that, I combined. Don't just add a bunch of words, just add a bunch of words. But write a good sentence or two that has mathematical proof of how you got your question correct. Number 6, which expression is equivalent to negative 7 times y minus 2? Negative 7 times y is negative 7y. Negative 7 times negative 2 is positive 14. So the answer is D, negative 7y plus 14. Number 7, a furniture store sells kits that customers use to build cabinets. Each kit contains 18 screws and a set number of boards. Part A. Jared buys 6 of these kits and has a total of 192 screws and boards. The equation shown represents this situation. So this equation says that 6 kits have X plus 18 screws, and the total is 192. Anytime you see total in a word problem, that is a very good indicator that that's going to be what your equation is equal to. Okay? So the first question is, what does the variable X represent in Jared's equation? Well, each kit, we're multiplying 6 times each kit. Each kit has 18 screws and a set number of boards. Our variable represents something we don't know. We don't know how many boards are in each kit, so that's what we're using the variable for. It is the number of boards in one kit, C. Part B says, what is the value? So I'm going to take this equation, 6 kits times a set number of boards plus 18 screws equals 192 screws and boards, and I'm going to solve it. First thing we're going to do is distributive property. 6 times X is 6X. 6 times 18 is 108. When you solve equations, you're using the inverse operation. Therefore, you're using the inverse order of operations. So I'm going to subtract 108 from 192, and that will give me 84. So between 6 kits, I have 84 boards. So I'm going to divide 84 by 6 and get that each kit has 14 boards. X equals 14. Julie works Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday for 10 hours each day. On Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, she works 7 hours each day. She does not work on Saturday. Her total earnings are 612. So the total is 612. We're looking for her hourly pay. We need to know how many hours she worked. So Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday, she worked 10 hours each day. So that's 30 hours. Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, those 3 days, she worked 7 hours. So that's 21 hours. So that's a total of 51 hours. So 51 times her hourly rate is 612. Divide by 51, and you get that her hourly rate is $12. Her manager proposes a new rate that she can get paid twice her hourly rate for working any hours over 8 in a day. For 3 days, she worked 10 hours. So of these 30 hours, 6 of those were over 8. So 6 times 24, because she's getting paid double that hourly rate, is 144. 6 out of 51 total. So when I subtract that, 45 of her days, 45 of her hours, she's still getting paid $12 an hour. So that is 540. And when you add that together, she will be making $684 instead of $612. How did you find the method, her total using this method? So I multiplied the hours over 8 hours in a day, those 6 hours. I multiplied the 6 hours she worked over 8 hours in a day by 24, and then multiplied the remaining hours by 12 and added them together. Of course, if you're doing this, you want to make sure you're forming complete sentences and not just shorthand.